Hello and welcome to Out of the Park Baseball 21. We have gone back to the Cubs slash Red Sox save that we had played. First, we won the World Series with the Chicago Cubs. That took us, I don't know, what did that take us, 7 or 8 years? And then we switched over to the Red Sox, where we won it all in, what, 4 years? It's been a bit since I've done this. So let's take a or since I've been in this kind of world. So let's just go quick. 3 years. Yeah, we took over after this 59 and 103 season. Then we went 71 and 91, then 106 and 56, and then 114 and 48. Won it all. Shut that off. Sorry about that. Yeah, so we have decided to take over the Oakland Athletics, and it was very. There wasn't a whole lot of thought put into it. I just went through and I looked at the teams that had the worst records in baseball last year, and the A's were hands down the worst team in baseball a year ago at 59 and 103. So we have made the decision to come back to this world and go across the bay from our San Francisco save and pick up the Oakland Athletics. So we'll do a quick recap of the team. And we're at free agency already, so we'll do a quick recap of the team and then figure out what we want to do. So if we look at our lineup from a year ago, not very good. You know, we had two players with more than two WAR. Our middle infielders, Amari Sanchez, who's not all that good. He's a good defensive shortstop, so and he's making the league minimum, so he's probably a good solid player for us. Manny Araujo, Manny Araujo. That's it. Another player, league minimum, good defensively. Not going to provide much power, but again, good defensive middle infielder. Mario Zabala, next on the list. He is a 28-year-old. Only making 1.8, and he's an elite defensive center fielder. So right off the bat, I'm seeing a few players who, at least can be useful parts, as they're very, very good defensively. They aren't going to hit very well, but if I can get some hitters around them, they can be hidden in the lineup, so to speak. Herb Blanche, another one, 25-year-old, 2.5-star, 3-star potential. Really good contact, really good gap power. He's kind of one of those players that you see a lot in Out of the Park Baseball 21. Again, very good defensively. So we're seeing a trend. They have a lot of bad offense, good defense players. Will Smith is terrible, and he's making a lot of money, and he's our starting catcher. Thankfully, it's only through this year, so we may just have to suck it up. Mike Hubbard, not very good. Danny Bautista is our big home run threat. Left, he's not very good, but he's cheap. Jonathan India, probably our best overall hitter. Again, not very good though. 23 home runs, 67 runs knocked in, 93 OPS plus, .1 WAR. So offensively, we are really, really bad. Pitching, we're not very good, but we at least have Jesus Luzardo when he comes back. He is our ace, best pitcher on the team, making $30 million. Sorry, just getting a drink. Making $30 million. He's 33 years old. He's won a couple of Cy Youngs. He's likely, I'm going to try to move him, even if I have to eat some of the contract. Other than that, I mean, Edgar Ruera is not bad. It's cheap, so he'll be at the top of the rotation. Carlos Sarmiento, looks like he was a starter last year, but I guess he could be a starter. I mean, probably be better off in the bullpen. I guess he could be a starter. Diosmersky Taveras, it's a lot of crap, guys. Uh, Go Guao. I'm gonna call him Fangs G. I'm gonna call him G. Fang G. He's terrible, and he's making a lot of money for a lot of years. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do here. Try to move him, but I don't suspect I'll be successful. Danny Carmano, pretty good, and he could actually become a starter. Um, right now he's our closer, but three decent pitches, he could become a starter, or we may move him. Nobody on the team is safe. It's just bad. So that's about it. We don't really need to go too much into this. I mean, you can just see kind of how terrible this is across the board. Jesus Solis isn't awful. Bad control, but he throw it at almost 100. Um, Angel Espinosa pitched really well in 8 games, but he's nothing special. Oof. Ryan Bruno pitched in 67 games to the tune of a negative 1.1 WAR, so good for him. Yeah, that's really bad. Front office, we have no money. No money for free agents this year. Got a lot of money for extensions, and that's because 3 of our 4 biggest contracts come off the books at the end of next year. Luzardo, Smith, and India. $60 million between those 3 right there. And I'm going to try to move really all 4 of these guys. Luzardo, Smith, G, and India are all. I'm going to try to move all 4 of them during the offseason. See if I can clear some money to hopefully make some additions this year. From a minor league perspective, we have 23rd best minor league system. We have 2 players in the top 100. Josh Wilcher, a 22-year-old starting pitcher. He was up last year. I mean, we may as well keep him up. He's already sort of making that. He's already sort of accruing that time, so we may as well keep him up and throw him in the rotation. He still has some room to improve his control, but he looks to be a really solid pitcher. And then Galladay, Phil Galladay, good contact, good gap power, decent home run hitter, and good avoid contact. He'll probably start this. I mean, he's 24 already. He'll probably start in Double A and then move up to Triple A really quickly, up either later this year or start of next season, and that's it. Other than that, our cupboards are bare, so to speak. So it's going to be a much harder rebuild than what we had with the Red Sox because we don't have the money. With the Red Sox, at least you had money to spend. We don't have that here. So, yeah, we got some work to do. It is free agency. Like I said, we don't have any money, so we can't really do anything. I think there were 1 or 2 decent, one pretty good reliever that was young. Yeah, this guy Feng Zhai. But again, I can't afford him. He wants $6 million. I can't afford that. So maybe we can move some contracts and can bring in our 22-year-old closer and at least have that position locked down, and that's a potential possibility. Other than that, there's not a whole lot in terms of international free agents. Our goals: don't suck, increase attendance, get rid of G, the overpaid pitcher, find a top 20 prospect, build a top 6 minor league system, and that is my intention. Where are we spending? It's not good. 19 million stored in the draft. I don't want to do that. So let's that and bump this up to the bump. Can't. Shoot. I need money. Okay. This actually isn't bad. Spending most of our money on international and amateur scouting. Our scouts elite. All right. Oh, that's our GM. Wait, Theo is our scout? And Theo's our scout. Okay, I'm good with that. Let's take a look at our personnel. Yeah, Theo's our scout. So our trainer, not good at prevention, and I would prefer prevention. Basically, we need to replace our entire staff. So let's look at pitching coaches. Let's see what's available. Mark Pryor. I like Mark Pryor. Works well with. We're gonna go after Mark Pryor. Works well with power pitchers. Our prospect, our only good prospect, is a power pitcher. So we're gonna stick with Mark Pryor. Let's look at trainers. I always prefer prevention to healing. Not really anybody here that is. Chris Rose isn't terrible. I might just hold off this year and see if we can kind of work through it and end up better next year. See if there are better options next year. Go to scout ratings. I want to be here. Bobby Seagal, Yankees. Build a good rapport. Almost 290 last year. That's not bad. First, someone with power, but not really any. So yeah, let's go Bobby Seagal. Up a couple of solid coaches. Bench coach. I want my own bench coach. Nobody who's really good at developing. MA. Let's take a look at this. I should do that just before I fire him. Carter. Okay, so everybody hates him. Okay, let's find different coach. All right, Jeff Gibson. Let's look at him. Poor influence, but good relationships. Jose Ortiz. Lower influence. Relationship. Camaro T. Problem is there isn't anybody who's good at. So that's a problem. I think we may just stick with our bench coach for now and see what next year is handy. They'll just stick with our bench coach and see what next year brings. Because we lowered our draft budget for next year. Actually, we're gonna drop ticket prices to $20. Try to get butts in the seats. Because we dropped our draft budget, we have more money for extensions, which isn't going to help us this year. But again, we can potentially move some of those larger contracts and free up a little bit of money. A lot of players here that we can't afford. For these people. Yeah, let's. No interest in you. I'm going to go ahead and. These guys are all minor league. I'm fine with. All right. Everybody on here is bad. Oof. Where did he come from? Wow. All right, so I would love to free up. If I could free up $20 million, that would allow me to sign Russell and Jai. I could sign those two guys. I would consider that a successful offseason. I think that's what we're going to try to do. So let's go in and let's. What am I doing? Let's go here and let's start with India. It seems to me that he would have the most value. He's still only 28. Let's see. All right, so a couple of bad options, but again, this is all about just getting rid of salary. Getting somebody to take the contract off our hands, basically. Let's just look at prospects. Can't shop anybody else because I was doing a little bit of research before. All right, so I'm gonna see if I can move those players: India, Lizardo, G, and Will Smith, and see what we can come up with. Even if I have to eat parts of the contract to make them go away, I will. My goal is to clear $20 million off the books today, or I guess tomorrow, so that I can make a run at that catcher and that closer. And when we come back, it'll be probably the Rule 5. I'll probably just handle this the way I've been handling it. So hang tight. When we come back, it'll be the Rule 5, and hopefully we'll have some money. So we'll be right back. All right, guys, it is Rule 5 draft time. Before we get to that, what's happened between the start of free agency now? So we were able to sign one of the two players. We signed Haifeng Zhai to a 4-year contract worth $13 million. Pretty solid deal, I think. 2.4, 3.8, 4.5 for a 22-year-old, and then he becomes arbitration eligible. Scouting's getting there, but it looks like we have a pretty solid closer prospect here for the foreseeable future at age 22. And if not, we can always move him. Excuse me, sneeze. From there, it was all about moving assets. We are still in the market for that catcher. His cost is going up, unfortunately. Excuse me. We're up to 5 years at $80 million. When we first started, it was 5 years at $55 million. But this is still a bat I want in my lineup. I don't know how much higher I'm going to go than 5 and 80. I mean, he is only 24. That would take him till he's 29. But for an unproven catcher, that's a lot of money. So I'm not really sure, but we will see. I was waiting until later in free agency to see if we could potentially snag somebody else kind of on the cheap. Most of the really good names are gone, although Leo Rodriguez is still available. They want a comp pick, and I'm not going to give up a pick for him right now. So I'm going to keep an eye on free agency, see if we can snag people on the cheap as we get closer to the start of next season. You can see we do have some money for free agents, and the reason we have money for free agents is because we were able to move a couple of those contracts. We weren't able to move them both, or all, I guess. First one, and you can see we traded Lizardo in India. So we moved Jonathan India and Danny Bautista, who was making about $1.5 million or so, to the Braves, getting a 25-year-old starting pitcher who's not very good, but still relatively young, still has some room for growth. So who knows? I mean, it was more about getting rid of the contract, but his movement and his control can peak at 37 and 29. I mean, maybe he could be a number 5 starter. But worst case scenario, he's bullpen depth. But again, it was more about moving the money and getting it off the books. The other deal was with the Dodgers. We sent Jesus Luzardo and some various flotsam and jetsam for a 20-year-old third baseman. So Luzardo obviously was the big name here. Making $30 million, just not something we could swing. So we moved him, and I think we ate, 5% of it? 5% of his contract, which was like $1.5 million. We traded Armani Sanchez, who was our starting shortstop last year. And the reason for that is because we have a 22-year-old shortstop, and I'll show you him in a second, who can probably give us 90% of what Sanchez gave us. 19-year-old 2-star pitcher who's injured. and 30-year-old Jared Poland, who actually made up the $1.5 million difference because that's about what he's making. 1.24, so we moved him as well to the Dodgers, and we picked up a 20-year-old third baseman who, I mean, you never know what you're going to get. He's got some decent power, good eye, and he's only 2 stars, but he is only 20 years old. So hopefully he can develop. And if he doesn't, we got $30 million off the books. I took a lot of the money that we made or that we saved from this season or for next season from getting Luzardo off the books, and I put it into scouting and development. Not so much into free agents. You can see we still have about $7 million left if we sign the catcher. So if we sign him, we'll still have a little bit of money to play with. But you can see we've just I dropped the draft budget down to the recommended slot amounts. Oops, I got to up to 5. Our international budget is $5 million, so that we can jump on those 5-star or those potential good international free agents in March or in July rather. We upped our development budget to $20 million, and we upped our scouting to $15 million. So it's actually going to drop our money this year down to only a couple of $1 million. Yeah, 2.7 now after we moved international to $5 million. That's into $5 million, and that's fine. This number will go up a little bit as we get closer to the beginning of the season because we are increasing our attendance and in turn our revenue per game. So we will make a little bit more money here in the off season that we can play with. The only issue is that if the catcher wants his name Martin, if he wants any additional money, you know, we're running out of funds to be able to go to bat for him. So hopefully he signs for what we're asking for and we can call it a day. So let's quickly take a look at our rosters and make sure there's nobody that we want to put on the 40-man. The decent players here. Definitely want to put Rodrigo Aguirre, Busquets, Mario Busquets. I like him. Good too. 40-man. He's not great. He probably won't get taken. This Apollo Creed? Better be. Not, it should be. Andy Creed. All right. Leave Andy Creed off that movie. Really not good. Melder. Yeah, Melder, Billy Melder. We definitely put on the 40-man. I'll do it. All right, so let's take a look at the Rule 5 draft on just a sec. Okay, we have the number 1 pick in the Rule 5. Take a look. See what's available. Sure, we'll be able to get something. We have so many holes in our roster that this is going to be probably more than a one team or a one player draft for us. Yeah, right off the bat, Mike Springer. Yep, Mike Springer. Not only are we going to draft him, he's going to be in our starting rotation and probably be our ace or our number 2, without question. Mike Springer. I mean, we really can just take anything. They want us to take Dave Flynn, a first baseman. Pretty average across the board. I mean, there are better options. 27, like some players with some growth opportunity. Some more good potential bullpen pieces, but not really great. So, what do we want to do? Let's look at power. So we don't have a lot of power in our Artie. Drive, but he can mash. ourselves a leadoff hitter. Angel Gonzalez. Here's another catcher. I like this guy as a catcher. He'll probably be there though. We take him with our next pick. Luis Lopez. He's not bad. He's only 21 though, so he's probably close to those. Well, he kind of is. 35 home runs in A-ball. We're going to take Luis Lopez. We can end up taking 3 or 4 players from the. This is what we did with Pistol Shrimp, I believe. Really, really heavy that first year in the Rule 5. And I don't know if that anybody really worked out, but it gave us at least some young players that we could be hopeful for, which is really all you're looking for these first couple of years. You just, looking for positives. Angel Gonzalez, he will be our backup catcher. It's a switch hitting catcher who has almost 100 batting eye. Let's go to our next pick. Might take one more player. Maybe we take a high contact gap guy, but kind of in that 2 hole. This guy's bizarre. I've never seen a profile like that. Either going to hit home runs or singles. And I like him. I'm going to take him. It's just such a unique profile. I want to see what that relates to. All right, and then we need a left fielder. Oh yeah, we need a left fielder according to our team. We don't have a left fielder. So, is there anybody that we can take sticking left? Problem is our scouting ratings are super low for everybody, so it's hard to really tell how good some of these players actually are. So I'm taking severe, not really risks, but Sever was not bad. Vasquez, an infielder. I think we're going to call it. 4 picks out of the Rule 5 is enough. We could take all of these guys who are high contact, high gap power. I think, let's take Roman Corrier. And that's 3 batters that we took out of the Rule 5 that we can rotate between first base and left field. So, all right, so autocomplete draft. And that's going to do it. So I'm really happy with Mike Springer. I mean, is it possible that we just got our ace? Assuming the ratings are close to that. Yeah. So, all right. Let's do. Haven't done this in a few years, so let's do the Hall of Fame voting. Let's see what we've got for Hall of Fame people. Make some picks. So, Betances, Charlie Blackmon, Bogarts, Ron. Oh, let's go with Cologne. He's getting close. His 8th season, 68%. Goldschmidt. No. Hamels, no. King Felix, no. Holiday, no. Kimbrel, no. LeMahieu. Lester I think, deserves more consideration than that, but going to get it. 2,400 strikeouts, 2,600 innings, almost 50 WAR. I'll vote for him. He's not going to get in, but I'll vote for him. Mauer, they have him listed as a catcher, so I'll vote for him. As a first baseman, I'd say no. Springer, no. Trevor Story, no. Justin Turner, no. Joey Votto, yes. He won't get in, but I'm going to vote anyway. 70 WAR. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. That's going to be it. Those 4 players. No, Sale. Hurt a lot, but he was dominant, so I think he deserves to get submit. All right, so I'm going to go ahead now, and we're going to sim ahead to spring training. Hopefully we can land our catcher. There will likely be a couple more deals made of the minor variety just to see if we can pick up some prospects here as we go forward. But when we come back, it will be opening day, and we'll set our lineups and our pitching staffs, and we'll call it an episode 1. Oh, hang tight. Be right back. All right, it is almost opening day, so let's take a quick look back at what's happened over the last, I don't know, 2 months or so. Hall of Fame voting came back. Nobody made it. Bartolo Colon is getting closer. He ended up 1% away. Looks like Kimbrel will probably make it next season. Note get dropped. Not really. Let's see. Hours probably not going to make it. He else got a decent shot, I guess. Financial update. Because we had a good offseason, our owner raised our team budget from $134 million to $150 million. Gives us some extra money to play with this year as well as next year. We are losing money now, so hopefully we can have a decent season that will allow us to turn this around. We do have some money for free agents. We do have some money for extensions. I'm not going to touch any of that right now. I want to see how the beginning of the season goes. Fan interest is waning a little bit because of the deals that we made. We were able to move off a couple more of those bigger contracts. When did it happen? January or February? December. Oh, we signed Taylor Trammell to a 1-year, $1.4 million contract. Signed him primarily because I wanted a left fielder, and he's a captain. And one thing I like to do, especially with Out of the Park 21, is that if you know you're going to have a bad team, make sure you get some high quality, captains, leaders, that sort of thing, so that as the team plays poorly, you aren't affected by infighting, things of that nature. So we brought in Taylor Trammell on a nothing contract. He'll be a good kind of number 2 hitter, and potentially can even off with those ratings. So we signed Taylor Trammell. December. Yeah. So we did sign Chris Russell, 5 years, $80 million. He's not quite as, actually, here. So you can see his ratings. He's going to be a pretty low contact guy with some good power and good eyes. So, you could see him hitting 250-ish or so, but still putting up a 900 OPS because he could be rocking a 400 on base percentage and 500 slugging. So, and he's a good defensive catcher, so that'll work as well. So we got him for 5 years at $16 million a year. We were able to trade Fang Ji, get his contract off the books, and really we just had to move him and a bunch of other marginal players to only eat 50% of the deal. 35-year-old Parker Dunshee, who's a 1.5-star pitcher who's been in AAA the last 3 seasons. Ronny Garcia, who's a 33-year-old 2-star pitcher who's been in AAA for the last 2 seasons. And Diomersky Tavares, who was with us all of last season, was 11-12 with a 4.46, 31-year-old reliever. Not very good movement, not very good control. Didn't really need him. And we got Sean Reed Foley in return. It was just somebody to have, and goalie is in the minors, and he'll never see the big club. So we got rid of Fang Ji, and we were able to save about $6 million a year on that one for the next 4 seasons. So we are paying him, $5.5 million or something like that to play for somebody else, but that's better than paying him $11 million to play for us. And then we were able to trade Will Smith. We had to retain 80% of his contract, which is fine because that's still $20 million that we don't have to, or 20% that we don't have to pay, which is about $4 to $5 million or so. And in return, we just got a reliever who's currently on the 40-man, but I don't know if he's on the team or not. So fans didn't like that, so our fan interest has dropped a little bit, so hopefully we don't have just an absolutely terrible season, and we can generate some fans, and we can make a little money. So let's go ahead and set our roster. So we got 42 players on the spring training roster. Pitching ratings. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Guys are all going to go down. 17 pitchers still, so we need to send 4 more down. Miller, he's probably gonna need both of these guys can be double, and Jack Owen actually for that. Need any 30-year-old plus relievers, so we're down to 14. We got to send 1 more player down. So Lisa pitcher, our starter rather. Is he a pitcher? Do either. Send 1 more down. Okay. It's Bruno. All right, goodbye. All right, so let's set our bullpen, set our pitching staff. And there. All right, so our ace is going to be Mike Springer. Pretty good in the preseason. 2.375 ERA. 2 is going to be Josh Wilcher. Not bad. That control's got to get a little better, but okay. Our number 3 is going, excuse me, going to be Mike Lilly. Morales. Lilly, our camo. Cool. Fang Ji is going to be our closer. This is going to be a setup guy that we're going to use 7th inning later. Other setup. Poppy. And Poppy. Arrow is going to be Thief. Alice is going to be. Arrow is going to be long relief. Long relief. Back. Specialist. Cool. So there is our starting rotation. So now we got to send down 8 batters, I guess. 2 catchers right off the bat, Lopez and Richardson. Send them both down, or are they going to have to? All right. Anna's going to go down. Wyer's going to go to AAA. He's our third baseman of the future, though. Then we got a bunch of outfielders. So how many send down still? 4? 5, I think. 26. Nunez, Segura, Sims. So what is that? It's 27. Send 1 more. Moreno. It's got to be an outfielder. We still have a shit ton of outfielders. It's going to be Moreno because Hubbard can play positions. Clearing house. All right, so there is our opening day roster. Let's clear up and clear the depth charts. Let's build a batting order, shall we? All right, so who's going to bat lead off for us? Yuck. This is going to be Trammell against righties. Not sure if I want him to play left or DH yet, so we'll just kind of leave. Two hitter is going to be it's righty. It's not going to play left. What about Valdez? Offense is not. Rajo is gonna bat second. Blanche will bat third. Russell will bat fourth. Lopez is gonna play against righties. Still need shortstop, left field. So, or center field and right field. Center field, right field. So Valdez can come on. Designated hitter. So I think just to split up the lefties and righties a bit. Right field to be Gats. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, I mean, Gats is a good defensive outfielder. Not a great hitter, but that's fine. Gats. Then Zavala. And Siapara. Aspari Siapara. Depth charts. Don't want Hubbard playing much. Screw him. Yeah, and that works, I guess. Copy this. Here. We're gonna have to make a couple changes, so we're gonna put Hubbard in as the first baseman against lefties. Hill. Lefties will play left, but I don't want him batting leadoff. What do I do about leadoff position when Trammell? With Valdez? I mean, that's crazy, right? Can't run. It's my best hitter. Yeah, we're gonna care that he can't run. Is my best. Oh, come on. He's my best contact / eye guy. There we go. Do that, I guess. Right, depth charts. Sure. Works for me. Copy this lineup into here. Then we got to take out it. We're gonna take out the DH, which is Valdez, which isn't gonna happen. We're gonna take out Hubbard. Valdez, the designated hitter, or the first baseman rather, and everybody else is gonna move up one. Generate depth charts. Hubbard playing second game. I want Valdez playing. Then against righties, we are going to copy this lineup. Paste it in here. Designated hitter, not him. Oh, come on. What is this doing? Started, but it's fine. Lopez moves on, and then we'll just run with lefties back to back. Care. It's not going to affect that games, I don't think. All right, depth charts. I don't. Second game. All right. So the leader of our offense is our catcher, Chris Russell, which is fine. I mean, you like to see that. We're pretty solid up the middle defensively with Araujo and Ciapara and Zabala. We've got some good leadership with Trammell. Our pitching staff is young, with some room to grow. Springer and Wilcher could be really nice at the top of our rotation. As we start to generate a little bit more money, if we could slide those guys into the 2 and 3 spots in our rotation rather than the 1 and 2, that would be a pretty solid top of the order. A lot of these guys that are in their late 20s, Lilly, Rueda, Solis, Sarmiento, these guys are all trade bait this year. Mike Lilly's actually pretty solid, and he's eligible for arbitration. I'm not sure what he's going to be asking for, but this is his year to make good, so we're going to give him an opportunity. Rueda has got a couple years under his belt, and he's been really, really sporadic. Really bad 3 years ago, really good 2 years ago, and then bad again last year. So we'll have to see how it goes there. But I'm excited about Springer and Wilcher in the rotation and G in the bullpen. If his movement increases just a touch, he's going to be really, really solid. So let's go ahead and sim ahead to opening day. Let's check the may not update until opening. So let's go to opening day. We'll check how OSA thinks we're going to do. We'll check prospect list, and then we'll go from there. All right, so they want us to stay respectable. Top 100 prospect list. We don't have anybody there. Minor league system rankings. We are, where are we? Ooh, we're down to 28th. We only have 2 players on the list now, Galladay and Springer. That's a little concerning. That sucks. I was kind of hoping that we would go the opposite direction as we have solid players. Galladay, I want to take over his. And again, he's going to start in AA. He'll probably move up to AAA pretty quickly. And then will be club in former Red Sox. Our former team is just absolutely loaded. Good job drafting. So. And the Cubs, our other team, is all the way down to 29th, so they have gone through their since whoever took over. They have not done a good job in the minor leagues. That's fine. It's not my problem anymore. All right, it is opening day. When we come back, it will be June 4th. It will be draft time. Hopefully, we won't be a complete disaster, but we will dive into the roster and how things are going in the next episode. So I hope you enjoyed episode number 1. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. And until we talk again, everybody take care. Bye-bye.